situation.
Well, so I hear. So, Angela, why don't you bring me up to speed?
Sure. Well, it all started about 9 months ago. Exact date is unclear, but basically, the union member in question was told that they would have to vacate the premises in about 9 months, due to the fact that we would be outgrowing our current space. Basically, we're shutting down shop here, and we're moving on to the next phase.
And do you have any paperwork or anything proving that you informed the union member of this?
Well, that's the problem, you see. Due to their current position and location, it was rather difficult to get anything to them in writing.
So, the union member is claiming they had no notice.
Correct. As well as claiming that we have no authority to force them out. But we are claiming that they are in breach of contract, which was only supposed to be about 9 months, give or take a few weeks. We actually thought they might leave prematurely due to the fact that we were moving things out of the office already, but no luck. They are stubbornly refusing to leave. You know, I really can't conceive of how anybody would want to stay in this tiny space.
Well, all right. This is a tough egg to crack. I'm going to need a few pieces of information if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. Name?
Angela?
I already know your name. Don't need that. The name of the union member.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That would be silly for you to ask my name, wouldn't it?
Yes, it was. Name?
Karen.
Karen. What a name. Sex?
Oh, no, thank you.
What sex is Karen?
Oh my gosh, I've done it again, haven't I? Female.
And how does Karen identify?
Well, I guess probably just says, hi, I'm
All right. I'm trying to help you get your space back, not write a Monty Python sketch.
I'm sorry. I have been watching a lot of BBC lately. Been a bit bedridden. You know, I actually don't know how they identified, and I wouldn't want to presume anything.
You know, that's probably a smart move. Karen's already showing some signs of opposition, and you wouldn't want to anger them even more. Besides, it's their body, their choice, isn't it?
Well, right now, my choice is to expel them from this space as soon as possible.
Understood. So I think I have everything I need to get started. Why don't you give us some space so that you know, I can see what I can do to talk some sense into Karen.
Okay, good luck.
Karen, I'm Dr. Johnny. You can just call me plain old Johnny if you want. Karen, can you hear me? I just want to talk. Hi, Karen. I'm Dr. Jonathan.
I heard you the first time. That was a mean trick you played just now, using your keys to get my attention. Can't believe I fell for that.
Well, I wasn't trying to trick you. I just want to talk.
I already talked to management and told them how I felt.
Well, I've spoken to management as well. Angela's a very nice woman, you know.
She's all right, I guess. A bit pushy lately.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Would you care to take a seat?
Where should I take it?
She's just like Angela. What I mean is, would you please sit down so we can talk?
Well, why didn't you just say that? I swear, sometimes I feel like I will never stop learning all the nuances of the English language.
There, isn't that better? Would you like something to drink?
Listen, I know what you're up to. worn yesterday.
Obviously not. But clearly you are quite right. What is it you think I was up to?
You're playing the oldest trick in the book. You're offering me things so that I will let down my guard, open up to compromise, and you can get me to leave. I see through your whole game.
Milk then?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, there's more of that out here. Whenever you want.
See, there you go again. With your whole, you like popsicles? I got a bunch of popsicles in my basement.
Now that example does not match my intent.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what your intent is. I feel like you are here to force me to do something that I don't want to do.
Well, to be fair, aren't you trying to force management to do something they don't want to do? Like keep this space available longer than is needed?
Well, why is their right to this space more important than my right to this space?
Well, think back to when you were first brought on board. Who brought you in?
Well, management. I think maybe there was a third party involved. Not for very long. Maybe only a couple of minutes.
Hey, I think a couple minutes is pretty good. That's pretty typical of these third-party members. But anyway, given the fact that they're the ones who originally brought you in, shouldn't it be their right to decide when it's time to leave?
Not necessarily. What about my rights? I didn't force them to hire me. They made that choice. And what, I'm just supposed to sit here and let them decide my fate for me? I don't think so. Plus, they didn't give me any notice in writing.
Do you even know what writing is?
I hardly see how that is relevant.
All right. We need to come to terms on your move here. The reality is, you've outgrown this place and you need to leave. And I am here to negotiate that transition. Excuse me a moment. Now, I've spoken to management, and they have assured me that if you agree to leave willingly, they promise to provide food, clothing, and shelter for no less than 18 years following your exit date.
Do I get to dictate the quality of those things? Or are we talking a one-bedroom apartment? Cheap hand-me-downs or generic food options like fruit rounds? Because everyone knows that Fruit Loops taste way better no matter what management says.
Well, first of all, personally, I don't see a big difference in taste. But I will speak to management about making the effort to buy name brand stuff when income allows. And second of all, hand-me-downs are the new thing now.
Really?
Oh yeah, retro is in. In fact, I think management probably has some great retro items that would make your coworkers pretty jealous.
Well, what about shelter? I mean, right now I have everything I need. It's quiet, which is perfect because sleeping is my passion. I can get food anytime I want just by tugging on this cord here. Oh, and if I'm not happy about something, all I do is gently knock on the walls, and suddenly things get better. Most of the time, anyway. Plus, this is a private office, which means no one ever comes in here. So who cares what I'm wearing?
Well, that's all true. But what happens when you run out of space? I mean, how have you been feeling for the past, 5 weeks?
Fine.
Fine? Really? Are you sure? You haven't been feeling like maybe the walls are starting to close in on you a little bit? A little claustrophobic, maybe?
Okay, so maybe I can touch all of the walls of the office from one spot now. It's still my space. In here, I'm in charge. I can do what I want.
But is that really true?
What do you mean?
Well, think about it for a second. What are some of your favorite foods?
Well, ice, for one. I love me a whole lot of ice.
Okay, pretty normal.
I like chocolate-covered potato chips, peanut butter and pickles. Just the usual stuff.
And what about foods you don't like?
Oh, anything spicy. Oh, like curry, for example.
Does management sometimes make you eat curry?
Oh my God, yes! Like every week! It's ridiculous. I keep pounding on these walls to get them to stop, but no one seems to care.
Well, what if I told you that if you leave this office, you can actively refuse to eat such foods?
You're messing with me, right?
Nope. Let's say management wants you to eat curry or some gross vegetable. All you have to do is turn your head away and throw it on the floor.
Won't that make them angry?
Yes, it will. It'll make them furious. But legally, there's nothing they can do to you when you do that. In fact, they'll usually be too just exhausted from trying to deal with you outside this space. They'll usually just cave to whatever you like to eat, just to get you to eat something.
Wait, let me get this straight. You're telling me that in here, they can force me to eat foods that I don't like, and there is nothing I can do about it, but out there I can refuse certain foods?
Oh, not just foods. Over time, you can refuse other things too, like management's rules, their orders, their kindness. You can just say whatever you want, and legally they can't fire you or put you in prison or physically harm you.
I had no idea.
Of course, that phase of employment usually doesn't start until maybe 12 or 13 years post-space. But there's nothing saying you have to wait that long.
Why is it that I can do all of those things out there, but not in here?
Well, that's a good question. Because when you leave here, you become automatically what's known as a citizen. And that gives you all these rights I've been talking about. In fact, management is obligated to provide medical care for you up to age 26. But you don't get any of that if you stay here. And between you and me, you staying here past the deadline puts management at risk. And their right to do what they need to reduce that risk supersedes your desire to stay.
If something happens to management, what happens to me?
Well, a few different things could happen. You could get picked up by another company, if you're lucky. You might remain unemployed. Or you could be exposing yourself to the same risk as management if you refuse to leave on your own.
I see. How much time do I have to decide?
Well, in my experience, people in your position usually take between 4 and 36 hours to decide. And they almost always choose to go.
If I prolong my decision to 36 hours, how does that impact management?
It'll exhaust them. It'll make them angry. It'll make them question every decision that brought them to this point. Sometimes it actually makes them physically injure that third party who reached this point. And that's kind of funny. But no matter how long or short you stay, you still get to make it look like they peed themselves in front of everybody. It's pretty embarrassing for them.
That's excellent. Well, I'm strongly considering your proposal, but I don't think 36 hours is enough. Is there any other way that I can stick it to management as I leave? Something more permanent? What?
If you must know.
What is it you have to tell me? Full disclosure.
Well, you could notify management that you're preparing to leave. That will initiate the exodus process. Then you could just play out the 36 hours, and at the last minute, pretend you're not going to leave. Now, by that time, you can't stop the wrecking crew. They will have to forcibly remove you by breaking down walls.
Isn't that dangerous?
It used to be, but technology's come a long way. It's a fairly common approach now, but it will leave a mark on management's permanent record. So it'll follow them around wherever they go for the rest of their life.
crowning achievement. You had yourself a deal.